Well. What do we have here? Looks like we got this StreamYard thing up and running. Let's see what we got here as far as options goes. Settings, general, recording, layouts, guest. Says we got 3 viewers in here. I'm just trying this out, guys and gals out there. I'm just looking around, seeing what I got going on here. I'm sort of new to this stuff. This is StreamYard. I finally got my computer up and running, got the webcam in place. Mike Wilkerson is in the house. Just figured out how to click on these comments. Got 5 people up in here so far. Sorry for the delay. Like I say, this is new to me. I'm just trying to figure it out, brothers and sisters. Hi, Outlaw. Says Corrections 101. Boomer Center and love your content. Appreciate that, Corrections. Ain't seen you in a while, brother. Where you been hanging out at? So this past week we had a few upsets, and we've had some interesting stuff happen. Most notably for me, some of the stuff I've been getting into is I seem to always find myself in the middle of some kind of trouble. Seems like the Prime Deion Sanders groupies have an issue with me. Called him out for the jackass that he is. Now all of a sudden all these ass kissers wants to ride Coach Khan's pecker, but I guess they're afraid if they don't, they will be called racist, says JD Wilmoth. That is correct, JD. A lot of people are afraid of that. Actually, what that is to me is, can you guys and gals hear me all right, by the way? Just drop in the comment section, let me know what I need to do to get this right. The comment I pasted to your video yesterday was the most absurd post I've ever seen, said Mike Wilkerson. That is true, Mike. There's a lot of absurdity going around with the Time groupies. You know, Time Deion Sanders won his first game yesterday as a major college football coach at the expense of what I would say was a overrated TCU team. A little bit of fool's gold going in. Everybody's hyping them up because they went to the national title game, but then they got treated like a homecoming opponent, as I said in my previous podcast. And everybody's up Time Deion Sanders' ass. The groupies of his out there, I'm sure they have probably stroked it off a few times to that poster on their ceiling over the bed. But you're right, JD. It seems like if we criticize someone like Deion Sanders, for some reason, people like to throw the race card or race bait. And I don't understand what that's all about, because I criticize people regardless of their skin color. I mean, I didn't even know Deion was black. Did y'all know Deion was black? What about y'all? Anybody back here in the college football nation know that Deion was black? I didn't know he was black. I just knew he's a loudmouth jackass that don't know how to win with grace. He's constantly bringing up the race card. First thing he goes to is talking about his sons. It's all about himself. He's a narcissistic jackass. And what these people don't understand about me and Deion Sanders is that it doesn't matter to me how many games he wins. They think because if he starts winning games, it'll shut me up. It's not. It's probably going to make me worse, actually, because it's not about wins and losses with me with him. He's just a general bully and narcissistic jackass. All right. Loud and clear, says Mike Wilkerson. Appreciate that. Heads up. If you want your comment read out more readily and quicker, all you gotta do is hit that button at the bottom of the screen, little $sign down there. You can click on that. write your comment, and it'll highlight it according to how much you donate, and then it'll be pushed to the top where I can see it more readily and I can read it out for you guys and gals out there. As you can see, these guys coming here with badges: J.D. Wilmoth, Mike Wilkerson, Eric Taco Marino, all have their badge. That is a badge for being in the Outlaw Posse, amongst other perks that you get. You will get that badge, and you will get deputized and get put in the Outlaw Posse. That's not but $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. It's just a bottle of Dasani, right? So if y'all want to be a part of the Outlaw Posse and get your deputization and your badge, just hit that join button next to subscribe button. Prime time is class. He gave God glory. Look, Derek, I can give God glory. And, anybody can give God glory, man. That is the biggest, bogus thing I've ever seen. That guy, to me, hides behind religion. He uses religion. You think God would approve of the way he acted the other day? The way he grandeurs and calls attention to himself as an attention whore does? He uses God as a way to give himself accolades and pat himself on the back, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. He's always been that way. Ever since he poured that water on top of McCarver's head, he was a guy that was just trying to do his job and interview someone, and basically gave his opinion upon Deion playing two sports, and then Deion abruptly pours water on top of his head. Yeah, that's totally a man of God. Taco, I never laughed so hard. Of course he's going to give glory to God. He wants people to think he's perfect. Exactly what Brian said. Anybody can do that, brother. Anybody can go out there. And that's another thing that aggravates me about Deion, is I know that he's hiding behind religion. I can't prove that. And then, in me, I'm not perfect either. I'm being a sinner by judging him, right? But I'm just saying, consistency rules the day with me. And he's been consistently a narcissistic jackass. Whether he says God's glory or not, it doesn't matter if he turns around and then does the stuff that he does, by calling attention to himself constantly. It just gets on my nerves. Sports Illustrated today brought up a topic that you guys and gals may be interested in. They're talking about that the next line of movement in college football may not be expansion but contraction. I saw the article, read it a little bit, and they was talking basically about the Big Ten contracting and maybe getting rid of either Northwestern, Indiana, or Rutgers. Now, that could go for the Southeastern Conference as well, because Mississippi State doesn't bring many eyeballs in Starksville. And neither does Ole Miss, really. And Vanderbilt, you could say that about both conferences. I'm not sure about the Big 12, but the SEC and the Big Ten could actually probably end up contracting down the line so they can add other teams. If the SEC or Big Ten want to add some of the ACC schools in about 3 or 4 years, they may want to just get rid of some teams and replace them with ACC schools that they think are worthy. Deion is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen, said Mike Wilkerson. Deion treats his players like his own kids. Probably was a joke. His son is God-given talent. God gives people talent. Derek, dude, you really treading lightly. You need to tread lightly because God has nothing to do with that. God gives you a lot of things, but I don't think God really cares whether you're talented at football or not. That's just my opinion. Corrections 101 has officially joined the Outlaw Posse. Corrections 101 has just mounted up and saddled up, and he's ready to go. And he's a part of the Outlaw Posse now. Corrections 101 has his badge, and he's now been deputized. Welcome to the Posse, Corrections. Glad to have you on board, brother. Yeah, he treats them like his own kids, right? That's why he basically run them off, because they said they was a part of a 1-11 or 1-12 team. They beat TCU, man. They beat TCU. The groupies out there, maybe even yourself, they're jizzing their panties, man, over one win over an overrated TCU team that give up 65 points to Georgia. I don't care if it's Georgia. I don't care if it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. If you're on a stage like that, it would have been different if they played TCU in the regular season. Like I said in my last podcast, they'd been better off taking when they dropped Oklahoma and getting Ball State. They should have got TCU. TCU be easier out for Georgia than Ball State, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Brian Johnson has just joined the Outlaw Posse. Man, we got some people mounting up in here. The Army's getting bigger, brothers and sisters. And Brian Johnson now has his badge. He's mounted up. He's set up. He's ready to go. He's a part of the Outlaw Posse. Like I said before, $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Get you that badge, get you deputized. And I'm going to highlight a comment of the week, or comment of the day, actually, from the deputy badge input of the day, as I did last podcast. Whoever is in the Outlaw Posse, if they comment on some of my videos or on my podcast, I will highlight a comment of the day for those in the Outlaw Posse membership. What's wrong with doing it different than what, man? How's he doing it different? Tell me how Deion's doing it so different. And he went out and got a bunch of transfer portal players. Most transfer portal players, I'd say 70 to 80% of them don't work out because they couldn't make the cut with their former team. Sure, you have a few good nuggets that come from the transfer portal, but eventually you'll have a hollow team with no base to build on and nobody to build up. And that's what's going to happen to Deion Sanders, as well as Lincoln Riley and his skill shit ass out there in Los Angeles. He's taken a lot of transfer portal players. As you know, he had a bit of a controversy in how he took players from Oklahoma and lured them into the portal, which to me is tampering. They should make some kind of rule about that. Even the NFL has rules in place guarding teams against getting their team rated by the bigger markets. So I don't know why college football would think they're any different. Be back in a bit. All right, brother. We'll hang in here for you. But I appreciate Corrections 101 and Brian Johnson joining Outlaw Posse today. Like I said, if you want to get your comment pushed to the top and want me to read it out more readily, so you can get your comment read aloud, all you got to do is hit that little dollar sign at the bottom of this video and put your comment in there, send it, and it will highlight it for you once you make your little donation or whatever. David Whitehead's in the house. Hopefully I didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. You missed me coming in and basically brain farting for a little while. Just got this set up. I finally got a camera and finally got my own computer, and I got my own StreamYard membership. So now I'm hoping to do more of these live streams with everybody so I can really get the feel of what the common Joe and the common sound and know, even more so than all the media talking heads. I know what they want. This is why this is what this show is all about. Rick Birdwell, another badge in the house. Here they come. Outlaw Posse is now in effect. Rick Birdwell's in the house. He's got his badge as well from the Outlaw Posse. Now, as I was talking about earlier, Sports Illustrated they're thinking that the next big movement in college football is going to be contraction. That they're going to start kicking teams out of conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC and intermixing them with like Florida State or Clemson. What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that's a possibility that teams will actually be contracted instead of expansion coming forward? Brian Johnson is from Tulsa, the other T-town. I'm from Tuscaloosa, brother. Bama going to thump those Longhorns. It's going to be fun. He says, Richard Yellow Hawk. I hope you're right, Richard, because that's my team. A lot of people assume that this is going to be a close game between Alabama and Texas because it was close last year. Now, I will say this, Alabama and Oklahoma are dealing with some injuries. Those are the two teams I mainly cover, Alabama and Oklahoma, and I do intermix Notre Dame and LSU and Nebraska, teams like that as well, and USC, of course, but in more of a negative manner. But 20-19 was the score last year. Alabama beat them on the last-second field goal. Quinn Ewers got injured in the first quarter. Maybe Texas will finally play an entire game with their starting quarterback this time. The last two times Alabama played Texas, their quarterbacks got knocked out in the first quarter, although Colt McCoy's injury was a little suspicious, to say the least. I think Colt McCoy's daddy went in the locker room and told him there was no need for him to play in that game because he had to think about his NFL future. Now, you can't really blame him for that, but at the same time, it does come across as a little bit of chicken shit. But Hopefully Quinn Ewers can play the whole game so that there won't be no excuses or no asterisks this time. But Alabama may have an excuse this time. A couple of their DBs are nursing injuries this week. Malachi Moore and Jalen Key, who's a new transfer from UAB that had an interception in the game. Both of those guys are dinged up. They're day-to-day. Oklahoma also has some injuries as well. It says Brent Venables on Drake Stoops and Deshaun McCollum. He says, Brent Venables says Deshaun's had a possible high ankle sprain. But now it seems like it's good to go, and it's not really as bad as they thought. So Deshaun McCollum will probably play in the upcoming game against SMU. It says Drake Stoops injured his shoulder in that game, but he wanted to come back in. So obviously it wasn't that bad either. They're just trying to save him for the SMU game because the Arkansas State game was not so necessary for Drake to get in there and get injured. So what we got here in the comment section, who is going to take what? Deion can have the transfers, but those recruits going to Oklahoma, Bama, Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State is going to continue to go to those schools, says Brian Johnson. Bama going to thump the Longhorns. I already seen that. Tommy Gunn to Tunichi. I don't know how to say your last name, brother. But anyway, Tommy Gunn's up in the house here. Never seen you before, Tommy, but I'm glad to have you, brother. Part of the Outlaw Posse today. Hope y'all run it down their throats all game long, says Tommy Gunn. Good deal. Believe and Be Saved Ministries is in the house. Alabama win, Texas cracks under pressure. Maybe. I was a little more sure of this game until I found out that Alabama has some defensive back injury problems going into this game. Now I'm not so sure about it. Last year, like I said, it was a close game. People automatically assumed it was a close game. You almost won. It's going to be like Rocky 2. Rocky 2, Rocky comes back and wins, and that's a great story for movies. They don't always work out in college football like that. Just ask Florida State and LSU. Everybody thought, well, Florida State got lucky last year and beat LSU by 1 point on a missed extra point. This is LSU's year. And Brian Kelly thought so, obviously, because Brian Kelly, I don't know if y'all heard about this, but he made a pretty stupid comment a day before the game. He was being interviewed. I can't remember by who, but he was being interviewed, and he basically said that Florida State was going to get their ass kicked by LSU. He came out and said that. That's the thing with Brian Kelly, man. He just has no bakuth about it, man. Sometimes having no filter is pretty funny and pretty cool, but sometimes it's just stupidity coming out of his mouth. And they're still living off that 1 point win over Alabama. That shit's going to wear thin, just like it did with Ed Orgeron, just like it did with Les Miles. If LSU would just get a good coach in there with a little bit of sensibility about him and not have all this fakeness about him, LSU could have been a dynasty by now. Hell, they won 3 national titles under 3 different head coaches. It's better than those Skittle shooters at USC. John Sexton in the house. Matt Bingham's in the house. What's up, Matt? Adam Garcia in the house. No one likes Brian Kelly. You're damn right, Adam. I don't even think the LSU people like him, brother. Who are you a fan of, Adam? Because the LSU people, when he come down there and he done that little fake speech where he was talking all Southern and shit, if he was trying to tell a joke or trying to be funny, it would have been different. But the dude was on the real. He was trying to act like he was Southern. I'm like, Brian, you didn't fit into the stereotype, brother. Southern people ain't as dumb as y'all think. We might talk slow, but that don't make us stupid. It just means that we talk a little bit slower and we formulate our words a little bit better, in my opinion. Richard Yellow Hawk is a Sooner. That's pretty cool, Richard. We got 36 people up in here. Y'all share this link out. Try to get some more people up in here. We'll party this thing up. Get it crunk up as the college football season continues to roll on. We're going into week 2 now. Tell me what y'all think about the coming matchup between Alabama and Texas, or Oklahoma and SMU. I know you got a lot of Oklahoma fans up in here. Oklahoma and SMU might be a little bit closer than Arkansas State, I think. You don't have to do much to compete better than Arkansas State. Say Butch Jones about to rash up over there. I think he wet his diaper or something. Said y'all made him lose his noodle, man. What y'all trying to do? Get old poor old Butch Jones fired again? Damn, man. Mike Wilkerson, 45-10. Teakin up in the house. Teakin's a regular as well. Teakin says 38-16, Alabama over Texas. Mike Happy's in the house. Texas did not impress. I heard someone say Texas defense will be the best Bama will face all year. If that's the case, another national championship for Alabama. I hope you're right. Y'all do know that Nick Saban, since he's been in Alabama, he has not went more than 2 years without a national championship. That's saying a lot. If Nick Saban and Alabama go more than 2 years now without a national championship, they automatically say that Alabama's dynasty is dead and Nick Saban needs to retire. I've never seen a coach or team held that kind of standard since I've been watching football in the early 80s. It's a little bit of an unfair standard that Nick Saban and Alabama are held to, but they created the monster, right? The Rileys, says Brian Johnson. Well, Lincoln has scared the SEC and never has a defense. His brother has 2 games in a row scoring 7 points. I forgot about that, Brian. That's a good point. So the jury might still be out on him. TCU did score a lot last year. Yeah, they did. Brian, against those Big 12 defenses, hell, they put up 42 on Con Time's defense the other day. If Con Time and them had played a decent defense, they would have lost that game by about 20 points. No shit. I mean, TCU's defense really, 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 really sucks. I mean, it messed up the national championship game, for God's sake. Only steers and queers come from Texas. You know who's going to win. Hope it ain't a steer or a queer, says Jeremy Tyler. Once again, y'all coming up here, if y'all see these guys with these badges over here, those are the Outlaw Posse members. They have their badge. They've been deputized. They're in the Outlaw Posse. It's $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You hit the join button, that subscribe button. If you want to be an Outlaw Posse, you'll also get a random Full Horseman shout out as well on the podcast. And if your comment is the comment of the day, it'll get posted as well if you're in the Outlaw Posse membership. The Blue Devil defense looked motivated beyond belief last night, says Tommy Gunn. Yeah, you're right. Well, maybe Clemson just sucks. Maybe their offense just sucks, man. What do you think about that? Butch was totally embarrassed. That is correct, Rick Birdwell. You know, Butch, man, something ain't right about Butch, man. You know, he was at Tennessee. I don't know if y'all remember the story, but he told someone in an interview that he would find his dead father at each and every game and talk to him. Now, I understand there's nothing wrong with talking to your dead relatives, you know, and praying to them and that kind of deal. I'm not making fun of that. But to say that you go in a random part of the stadium and seek him out, why can't you just seek him out in the locker room? I mean, how is it that you really think that he's walking around at Neyland Stadium somewhere and you find him in a random closet in the bathroom? I don't know, man. Well, Butch Jones, man, he's a special one. OU will score 50 plus, but SMU will score 14 in garbage time, says Matt Bingham. Teddy Wilmot says, I don't think the Oklahoma SMU game is going to be close, and I think Alabama will put some food in the Shorthorns' asses. Some food? You mean a foot, right? We don't want to feed them, man. We don't want to feed them. As a matter of fact, you know, they screwed us last year on our band. They give our band tickets in the upper deck. And I also heard they turned the damn air conditioning off in the locker rooms. But see, what Texas don't realize is Alabama comes prepared. Alabama's not Rice visiting, okay? Alabama brings their own air conditioning units. They bring their own big, huge fans. So that shit didn't work with Alabama. Although it probably helps y'all keep the game close. But we returned the favor this year. We don't normally put people's bands in the upper deck because it's not safe. But we did return the favor to Texas, and we give their band seats in the upper deck this year. So there you go, Texas. That's what you get for being jackasses. They only did it because they don't want the bands to show up. And that's just Texas being Texas and trying to get an edge somehow, I guess. Dabo refused to use the portal as catching up with him, says Mike Wilkerson. That's a very good point, Mike. I made that point today when I was having a discussion with a guy today in one of these Facebook sports groups, Jeremy Smith. He's a pretty good guy. Check him out on Facebook. He has a Facebook program that he does. From time to time, he does do some talk shows on there, but I don't like doing Facebook crap. So, but I was telling him that Dabo's issue is his hypocrisy. You know, he wants to bitch and complain, and he said a few years back, I think about 3 years ago, that if they went into the NIL stuff, that he would quit, and he might as well just go ahead and join the NFL, right? But I don't see that he quit. I see he's still coaching and getting his $9-10 million salary with perks. So, you know, I don't like a lot of this NIL crap either. I'm in agreement with Dabo on some things, but for the most part, players should be allowed to get some kind of money. I think it should be regulated better. I think there should be some kind of increased stipend. They already get stipends. People don't know. I don't guess people know that, but a lot of these players get stipends anyway, even before NIL. But they could just increase the stipends and that kind of deal. That way there's no controversy or ill will or ill feelings on the football team or nothing like that. What do you guys think? How can we regulate this NIL stuff going forward? What's up, Killer Breeze in the house, George Contupis. That's his name. I finally got it right. Took me a while to get his name right. A lot of y'all got some crazy-ass last names, though. That's not my fault. Y'all should have picked a last name like mine. Clark. The Riley curse is real. It is real. It is real. Seems like his brother may be a little bit more of a skittle shitter than him. You know, at least Lincoln Riley can score some points. This boy, he can't even score no points, man. Like an earlier poster pointed out, Killer Breeze. He can't score but 7 points a game last 2 games, man. Oh, those playing Georgia. That doesn't matter. If you make the national title game, now if you was playing Georgia as a homecoming opponent and you only score 7 points, then yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. But you're in a national championship game, man. Show up. If you're going to give up 65 points, hell, at least score 28 or 35 points. Damn, man. That ain't screwed it up for everybody. Why does Texas have a steer for a mascot? No balls. It says kill back first. No, I never thought of that. That's a damn good point. Oh, no ball, Texas. Horns down. Let me tell y'all something, Texas people. Y'all come to the SEC. There's going to be some horns down, man. And there is not. If the SEC acquiesces to y'all, I'm going to get together with some people. We're going to raise all sorts of hell. Because I don't give a shit about your political clout and all your money. There's not going to be no penalty for that horns down shit. If there is, I'll agree to it only on one condition. If there's a penalty for horns up. If you go out flashing your little horns up in someone's face after you score a touchdown, that's antagonizing just as well as this is. So, y'all need to get over that shit. Y'all coming to a conference where, you know, they're going to look for your button to push, and they're going to push it. And that goes for Oklahoma too, man. They're going to be looking for y'all's button, man. So y'all try to get your thick skin developed a little bit more. And also, I want to address something that was brought up to me. Heath Stokes in the house with a big-ass $20 donation. Appreciate the hell out of that, Keith. I didn't see a comment with that brother, but Heath Stokes and the Stokes family, his mother Alice Stokes, and his son Austin Stokes, they all support this show big time. Appreciate the hell out of them, man. I love being a part of this college football family that we got going on here. More or less, so far, it's been mostly Oklahoma fans that have stepped up to the plate and supported the Outlaw. Chicken 1515. Need to do a co-pad with Jason. HOF Mafia. You done changed his name? I thought you was HOF Media. Jason called me a racist, man. I can't do nothing with him. He slandered me. It's like an earlier poster said, just because I call Deion Sanders con time, he called me a racist. Went around telling everybody I was a racist, man. I'm probably the least racist person you'll ever meet, man. I grew up with black people, man. You know, a lot of people say, oh, that's just something people say. Well, I really did. and Jason, man, and I know you're talking about Jason Watkins, I guess, but yeah, unless he apologizes, and he better mean it when he says it, I'm not going to do anything with him, man, because he lied on me. It's just a total blatant lie. You know, when you can't win the battle, when you can't win the debate, play the race card, even if you're white and you're not black. In Jason's case, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he said that shit. Rhino 26 is in the house. What's up, Rhino, my brother? Says Kane Reed is also in the house. Mike Happy says NIL is another reason to exit the NCAA, make a rule, and get back to letting the schools figure it out. Shit, now the government legislators are involved. Less government is better government. You're right, Mike Happy. I totally agree with that. Kane Reed says, hey, Alabama, you guys make sure you guys leave pieces of Texas left for us so we can take the leftovers. Well, you know, Kane, I don't know, brother, a.k.a. Brandon Dunn's in the house. I don't know how much we're going to leave for him. I do know we're having some defensive back issues, so this game might end up being slightly higher scoring than I anticipated. Daniel Dilly in the house says the Pac-12 runs through Washington. Also, as y'all saw with Heath Stokes, if you want to get your comment pushed to the top and get it read out more readily and quicker, just hit that little donation button at the bottom of this video with a $sign. Put your comment in there and then send it. Make sure you put the comment in and then send it, because if you don't, it'll just send a donation and your comment won't get read out. No apologies from the marshmallow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, people ask me about, what's his name again? Janine Wallace. What is his name, man? I can't remember his damn name, man. Damn, I guess it's just not that important to me. Man, that really sucks. I love both you guys' shows, says Dakota Green. Well, look, Dakota, I was on his show one time, bro. But if you're going to get in your feelings every time I disagree with you, there's probably no need of you being friends with me or watching anything I do, because I'm not going to just agree with you just because you're my friend. Just like the Alabama fans out there, they get pissed off at me when I call Nick Saban about something, because, you know, he's one of the winningest coaches of all time, and how dare I, a common Joe, call Nick Saban out. He knows more than everybody. But nobody's perfect, not even Nick Saban. And Dakota, like I said, brother, like Killer Breeze said, if the marshmallow would apologize for being a slandering race baiter, that's what he was, then, you know, I might accept his apology, but it better be sincere. Dabo missing BV a whole hell of a lot. BV kept that train on the tracks, not Dabo. You know, a lot of people were saying that, Rhino, but the defense really didn't play that bad, did they? I mean, they only give up, 28 points, and one of those was a garbage touchdown that Duke, you know, scored. Was the Clemson defense that didn't give it up. They really only scored 21 points, to be honest with you. They just don't have any offense, man. And they thought they solved it by bringing in Linky Boy's skittle shitting bastard brother, and it's just not working out for him, man. Killer Breeze, I agree. Dakota Green, RJ Young sold out and barely talks about Oklahoma. Yeah, I heard that old RJ Young was talking about the USFL the other day. Ain't that some shit? And I tried to talk to RJ, and I tried to tell him, look, man, I'm trying to help you out when I tell you this. But that BLM stuff that you're doing, it's going to backfire on you, brother. Because those people are actually not looking out for the best interest of minorities. Those people at the BLM are buying $1 million houses, and they've been implicated in sex trafficking, and they're racist and they're Marxist. You might want to reconsider. We all make mistakes, and we support stuff that we find out that maybe we shouldn't be supporting. I've done it before. We all done it before. Just own it, move on, and say, hey, I don't support that anymore. But he wouldn't do that. He blocked me. Mike Wilkerson says, hell, Outlaw, I'm thick-skinned. I was rooting for the Sooners through the 90s with Schnellenberger and Blake. But you're right. These new generation Sooner fans better get ready for the SEC. See, Oklahoma and Alabama fans have a lot in common. A lot of them were just common Joes, hardworking people, blue-collar people. That people try to sneer at for whatever reason. Never understood that. But Oklahoma and Alabama people have both been through some of the same turmoils. Alabama went through a pretty crappy situation, starting with Mike DeBozo, going on through Dennis Franchione, who told his players to hold the rope, and then he dropped the rope and went to Texas A&M. And back then, you didn't have the transfer portal, see? So they couldn't just opt out as quickly as he could. Dennis just left. They can't do that. That's why a lot of people support the transfer portal now, is because coaches will just up and leave these players behind. But back then, you couldn't do it. And he left them players behind after they missed their opportunity to transfer. And if they had transferred, they would have had to sit out a year. And the Lincoln Riley situation sort of remind me a lot of that. And y'all probably heard this story a few times if you watch my channel. But a lot of people ask me why I support Oklahoma and Alabama and why I support Oklahoma so much. But that's why, because it sort of hit a nerve. And we got a lot of stuff in common as far as certain things that our college football teams have had to endure. RJ is buying into that Deion crap too. Of course they are, man. I knew the first game he won, man, was going to be that way. Did I expect him to win his first game against Colorado, the very first game? No, I did not. I figured that TCU's defense would be able to hold a bunch of Jackson State transfers and transfer portal players that nobody else wanted to less than 45 points. But I should have known better the way they looked against Georgia. Hit that like button. Exactly. I should have mentioned that. I appreciate you reminding me about that, Chicken 1515. If you can jump out of this conversation real quick, click off the conversation, go out and hit and smash the like button. It'll push this video out to more people. It'll help that algorithm out a little bit. If you hit that like button and then just jump right back in here with us. What do you think about Onekano? Well, Matt, I don't know about Onekano, man. I really don't know if I like him or not. I approached him because people asked me to. A lot of the Oklahoma people wanted to see me and him do a podcast together, so I approached him about it. He sort of ignored me, I guess you could say, and never heard anything back from him, so I'm not going to beg anybody. We got another $20 donation up in the house. Appreciate the hell out of that. Chad Bell's in the house with a big $20 donation. He says, can I send someone to fix the background? You don't like my background, man? Where you want me to move, man? You don't like the bass hat? You got something against fish? Chad, man, come on. You don't like my fish, man. What about, is it the Bull Durham hat? You're not a big Kevin Costner fan? What is it, brother? Tell me what the angst is, Chad. Appreciate the hell out of that $20, Chad. Appreciate it, my brother. Unless you like us reading left to right. Well, my camera settings, I don't know what it is, man. I'll be honest with you, I'm not very technologically sound, and it was all I could do just to get on here today. When I first started this podcast, I was just flipping around, acting like a fish out of water. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I basically figured it out. Now I got it going. Now, let's just see if I can keep it going. My bad, I'm buzzed, says Chicken 1515. What are you drinking tonight, Chicken? What are you drinking, brother? You know what I think of every time I see your name, man? Y'all ever watched Young Guns? The movie Young Guns with Emilio Estevez and Kiefer Sutherland? Who's the other guy? Guy from his brother, man. I can't remember his damn name. But anyway, it's a great movie. I like both of them, Young Guns 1 and 2. But your name reminds me of when they took that Indian voodoo shit, and that one guy was seeing big ass chickens running around. He's trying to shoot them. Brian Johnson, I think the thing with Anna Cano is OCF is a Bama fan who probably don't like it, wish he would get over it. That might be Brian, but I also heard that he was a liberal and that he didn't appreciate my comments about liberal spastics. OCF, maybe Deion needs your help with his cowboy hat. You're right, Matt. You're right. You know, there's a certain way to bend this thing, man. You buy these hats at Irvin's. I don't know if y'all got Irvin's where you're at. You got a couple of them here. They're bendable hats. You can shape them the way you want. I've always liked that Tim McGraw look, so that's what I was going for when I bent this one. Charlie Sheen. Daniel Dilly, give me some help on that. Charlie Sheen, you're right. Oh, Charlie Sheen, I don't know how I can remember. Forget his name. Charlie Sheen's crazy as hell. I got some notes here. You know, the AP poll came out today. Ohio State slipped to number 5, slipped 2 spaces after their mediocre outing against Indiana. Alabama climbed up 3 spots to number 3. Florida State climbed up about 3 or 4 spots, and Florida State got 3 first-place votes. That's their number 4 behind Alabama. LSU dropped from number 5 all the way to number 14. They got dropped big time. And, of course, you knew they was going to do it. I told my buddy, I was like, man, they'll rank Colorado right away. After that win, they're going to be jizzing all over the place. They're going to rank their ass. And sure enough, here they are, Colorado at number 22. Duke is also a new add to the top 20 after their upset victory over Clemson and Dabo and the Duty Diggers. OU has moved up to number 18 for the Oklahoma Sooners out there in the house. And one that sort of bothered me was Iowa. The Hawkeyes were in others receiving votes, the highest vote getter. So that means they were like 26th. Iowa shouldn't be getting any votes. Horrendous offense, has been a horrendous offense for the last 3 years. Without that defense, Iowa probably only wins 2 or 3 games a year. Kirk Ferentz is the most overrated coach of all time. His nepotism with his son is going to hurt Iowa fans. 24-14 over Utah State. This wasn't Utah, it's Utah State. I don't think they should have got any votes. What do you mean? Chicken 15, it's right. It's my left, like it's supposed to be. I was wondering, JD. I mean, Chicken's told me that a few times. He told me that about my phone, too, but I didn't know how to fix it, brother. Mike says, I've tried watching Ona Kenobi. He doesn't mingle with subscribers too much, whether live or regular video. Yeah. There's a lot of some podcasters out there, for some reason, they have, they're very inept at mingling and talking to people. Maybe they're shy. It's like sort of like me in a way. When I was growing up, I couldn't stand getting up in front of a crowd and speaking. Right now, I really can't see y'all looking at me. And that's what I got in my mindset. It's like, hey, there's nobody here. I really can't see them, so I can be myself. I don't have to worry about stuttering and messing up. But they got the mindset of, hey, these people are looking at me. I've gotten out of that. I've overcome that. Working with the public, how I have for the last 20, 30 years, it sort of gets that shyness out of you. Mike El Mezcalito is drinking tonight. Chicken. Now, I forgot to see, what did you say about your drink? You might have done scrolled up by now. I can't remember what you said you was drinking, Chicken. I like to partake in silver tequila. If I'm going to drink, I try not to drink as much these days, but if I do, my doctor told me silver tequila is where I need to go. The plant that the tequila is made out of, the guave plant, is actually not bad for diabetics. I'm a diabetic. So, yeah, silver tequila. Preferably Patron if I can afford it. What do y'all think about the top 20? Y'all think it's about right? OCA, if you're on your laptop, all good, not drinking bitch light. All right. Oh. What about the big upsets this week? We already know about the Duke upset. What about Baylor losing to Texas State? I told people, man, everybody's talking about how Baylor was the next coming. Like Dave Aranda was the next great coach. I just wasn't buying it, man. He had one decent season. I mean, you can't just do it on one season alone. Give me a little something to drink, by the way. This is Celsius. Might be a future sponsor of the Outlaw College Football. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Texas State beat Baylor. Big 12 didn't look too good this week. No wonder Oklahoma and Texas want to get the hell out of there, man. They're tired of pulling the weight around there, I guess. You know, I know they haven't, neither one of them's been as competitive as they should be here lately, but, you know. Woo! Looky who's in the house. If it ain't no Alice Stokes. Alice Stokes is fast becoming the first lady of the Outlaw Posse with a big $20 donation. Man, oh me. You guys, man. Y'all are way too generous. But, hey, I'll take it. Mike Wilkerson says he loved the Baylor upset. I didn't see a comment with that, Alice. If you want to throw a comment up to go with that $20, I'll be more than happy to read it out, my sister. Hi back at you, Alice. One day maybe we can meet. I'd like to meet y'all one day. Heath said something about me possibly coming up there for a football game. Maybe next year when Alabama plays Oklahoma. I don't know, man. They might string me up from a tree up there. Ona Cano mocks people a lot. He used to be all right. I used to watch him, but not so much anymore. Brandon, that's an attribute that a lot of these podcasters have. Sometimes they get to this point where they think that they're famous. I guess we all are a little famous if you're podcasting, but and especially it's one of those liberal traits too. I hate to keep harping on that, but sorry. Keep coughing. I might have to drink some more water instead of this Celsius. Y'all like the chat room up for me. Anytime one of y'all want to come in here and chat with me live, I think there's a way to do that on here. Actually, there is. Right down here, there's an invite button. I could probably invite y'all if I could figure out how to send it to your YouTube channel. So that goes for Kill Breeze and Sheldon Lamey. Both of those guys have said they want to be on here live with me. If any of y'all ever want to be on here live with me, y'all more than happy to have y'all on here, man. Like I said, I'm not like most podcasters, probably never will be. It's probably why I'll probably never be working for Fox or ESPN or anybody like that, like RJ Sellout. That's y'all call him. Damn, RJ. Man, turned on you, RJ. Man, I think you need to. Hopefully, you never have to come back to being an Oklahoma podcaster because you might be ass out, brother. Good job, brother. One of your first subscribers. Gigging on the move. Boom. Gigging on the move. Explain that to me. That sounds like a nice little catchphrase, but I want to know the meaning and the context of it before I go around saying it. A big fat dab for it is the healthiest. What's a dab? You talking about smoking weed or something? What are you talking about? Hello, you would be welcome here in the palace, says Mike Wilkerson. You say that now, man. You say that now. But if I get up there, and Alabama wins in a controversial way or something, I'm wearing my Crimson Tide jersey or something, they might try to whoop my ass, man. Oh, I can wipe my own ass. What are y'all talking about, man? Y'all done went off the rails in here, man. You talking about wiping asses and stuff, man. You know what? I want to be so rich one day. I want one of them toilets that squirts water up your ass. You know, wipes it off. Now, how do you know toilet paper? That's why they do it in Europe, right? You got them toilets where it shoots water up your ass. Killer Breezy says, I'm driving. Oh, shit. Tell you what, man. The stuff I've heard about Killer Breeze and how he's pretty pissed off at his LSU Fighting Tigers and Bayou Bengals done shit the bed down there. I don't know if I want to be on the road right now. Where do you live at, Killer Breeze? I think Killer Breeze lives close to Dallas or something, man. Y'all better stay off the road. Killer Breeze is not in a good mood after that LSU loss, I bet. Talking smack with Outlaw will be fun. Damn right it will. Uncle Lou does some kind of call-in thing with StreamYard. Maybe you can do that. Yeah, Brian, this is the first time I've done it at the beginning of this live stream. If y'all go back and watch, y'all see I was struggling a little bit. But I figured it out. I ain't as stupid as they think I am. Uncle Lou. Oh, yeah. You mean Auntie Louise. Oh, hedge pisser. Oh, Georgia hedge pisser. Auntie Louise. Yeah. Yeah, I know who that is. You know, maybe one day me and him can have a sparring session. We have a smack off, as they call it. I challenge him to a smacking duel. Yo, hedge pisser. Y'all pass that along to Auntie Louise. That is conscious. I can't even speak, man. I'm trying to say some shit about pot, and you got my tongue tied, man. Perfect cracker. Dab is a concentrated THC wax sauce crumb. I knew it had something to do with pot, man. I just knew you had something up your sleeve. You're trying to get me high, man. You trying to get me high in here for, man? They don't kick me off, man. I ain't gonna be able to be on here no more. You're gonna ban me like I did my other channel. I know I used to have an old channel. This one I called Nick Saban out on, got 8,000 views. Alabama fans some of them got pissed off. A lot of them actually agreed with me, especially some of the richer boosters and some of the bullshit Nick Saban was doing with that BLM crap. Because like I said, man, I'm all about equal opportunity and people being treated fairly, but I'm not about organizations trying to separate people by race and using it to benefit themselves financially. And that's what the BLM does. The BLM wants to separate whites and blacks from each other and make us hate each other. That's what the BLM does. And people might get mad at me saying that shit, but I'm just telling you it's the truth. Whites and blacks can get along without all these organizations. All right. Just like me, you got smart kids. I do have some smart kids now. I got a little grandson, man. He's a handful, man. He got a big ass head, boy. Big ass head on him. You know, I hate for someone to get headbutted by that boy. Oh, by the way, they named my grandson after me, man. Like to make me cry. His name's Declan Jesse. Do you think Caleb Williams becomes the second player to win back-to-back Heisman since Archie Griffin says, "How are you?" I don't think he will. Just because it's something that a lot of the Heisman voters, it's like an unwritten rule, I think. He would have to do something astronomically great for him to win the Heisman Trophy, in my opinion. Would he maybe deserve to win it? Maybe. I don't know. But it's going to have to be something astronomical for him to repeat because they just don't believe in having back-to-back Heisman trophies, in my opinion. Now, they'll lie and say they don't think about that shit, but I don't believe it. I believe it's got to be something awfully great for him. If USC goes undefeated, that'll give him his best chance at repeating. I mean, I know that's a Captain Obvious thing to say, but for him to win the Heisman Trophy, I think they're going to have to go undefeated. I'm trying to be funny, Matt. Matt trying to piss me off. Hell no, drink no damn Budweiser, man. No, but I didn't even drink Budweiser before they went transgender on us. Before they went, well, excuse me. I don't like to say that word because that's a made up word. It's just like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. Shit don't exist. There's no such thing as transgender. You're either a man or a woman. You're born that way. I don't have an issue with people that want to be gay. If you want to be gay, that's fine. Be gay. But don't be ashamed of being gay. And that's what transgender men are. They're bigots against their own sexual orientation. They don't like being called men, gay men, because they're bigots. They might say it's not that. They might say, well, it's because I'm really a woman. No, you're not. You're just a gay man. And a lot of these gay men now are wanting to compete in women's sports because they're not good enough in their biological sport, which makes you a coward that you want to beat up on women. Now, you see what you started, Matt? Now I'm going to get a white strike, man. The censor's going to come in here and get after me. Where can we find Neil Feinbaum's program after the game? Who's Neil Feinbaum? Talking about Paul Feinbaum? Yuengling is my beer of choice since early April, says Mike Wilkerson. Like you said, there's a lot of comments going on in here right now. We got 45 people in the house. If y'all want me to read your comment out loud so I can get to it, because I can't see everybody's comments, just hit that $sign down there, give a few dollars, and it'll highlight it. I think there's $2, $5, $10 options, that kind of deal. I think the more you give, the more characters you get. I'm not trying to beg for money here. I'm just saying so I can read your comment out more readily. It'll highlight it for you. Just hit that donation button and send a comment. Also, you'll see these badges if you're just jumping in here. These people with the badges there in the Outlaw Posse. If you want your badge, you want to get deputized, it's not $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. Hit the join button next to the subscribe button. If you're on an Apple phone, you probably have to go to your laptop or computer because it doesn't mesh with YouTube memberships. You also get a random Full Horseman shout out on the podcast, as well as possibly being the deputy badge input comment of the day as well. That's what Alpha Dragon Gaming was the first one that I did for the comment of the day. Man, pop in and you're already on a rant. Damn right, man. They stirring me up in here, man. Matt does it on purpose, I think. See, hello, I was trying to be funny. Yeah, I know what you're doing, Matt. I give you exactly what you wanted to, didn't I, brother? Hey, man, they in here prodding me, Tim. You be riled up about them made-up words out there. You know, there's gay men that think they're women. That kind of deal. My bad, I just thought it would be funny. It is funny, Matt. I'm just being funny back, man. They're not going to white strike me. At least I don't think they will. Brian Johnson says Colorado's defense is too bad. USC will win that one. You're probably right about that. USC probably put about 72 points on their ass. Let's see. Andrew Mosley, thank you. What are you thanking me for, brother? Tell me what you're thanking me for. How are you? Lee Corso has dementia. He said USC will win a national championship. Yeah. Lee's getting a little up there in age for real. They need to find somewhere else to do that head thing because he's going to end up getting that damn thing stuck on his head. He's going to think it's stuck on his head. And he's probably going to flip out and have a seizure or something. They probably need to get somewhere else to start doing that because it's probably not helping the lack of oxygen going to his head when he puts that shit on his head. As far as USC winning national championship this year, anything's possible. They are playing in a conference where they might be able to make that kind of run. Although I will say this year they don't have as easy a schedule. They have to play Washington and Oregon, who they did not have to play last year. Oregon State almost beat them last year. It was 17-14. They play Oregon State again, I think. I know they play Utah again. Utah's beat them 4 years in a row. I think they probably need to take care of Tulane first before they can worry about winning the national championship. And, they come in second place in the Cotton Bowl. USC fans, they probably get traumatized when you mention Dallas. Last 2 times they went to Dallas, they got their ass embarrassed. Alabama beat them 52-6, like a homecoming opponent, and then Tulane took their shit and took a 15-point lead and turned into a 15-point deficit, turned into a 1-point win, and won by like 2 or 3 minutes left. USC will lose 4 or 5, says Matt Bingham. Thanks, Rick. Everybody getting thanks up in here. I don't even know what's going on. See, y'all got. What about Joanna Man the movie? It came real life. Never knew. Well, I don't think we had a trans. So you almost made me say that word again, man. I don't think we've had any drop dead Freds. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. I don't think we had any drop dead Freds try to make it in WNBA just yet, unless you count that chick that got released over in Russia. What's her name again? Brittany Griner. That's a bunch of bullshit right there. They left that damn Marine guy over there, but they're going to go out of their way to get a WNBA player, not even a good WNBA player, released. Oregon State does not play USC, sadly, says the only right-wing Duck fan. Only right-wing Duck fan is a regular up in here as well. Glad to see you up in here, brother. Always enjoy your comments. Bring a good change of pace. Give us some of that West Coast stuff. And it's hard to find right-wing people on the left coast out there. I'm going to get on a political rant here in a minute. Y'all going to get me in trouble, man. Y'all trying to do. What y'all trying to do, man? Dabo bit what off? You really trying to get me in trouble now. If y'all wonder why I made the comment about Dabo and the duty diggers a while ago, if you remember a few years back, there's an Ohio State guy that used to be a moderator in one of my groups, the National F-Bomb on Facebook. Y'all can check that out if you want to sometimes. Aaron Workman, he's an Ohio State guy. And me and him come up with that. We call them Dabo and the Duty Diggers because when they played Ohio State, there was an Ohio State guy on the ground, and the Clemson guy just went up and reached between his legs and just like doing that right there, just fondling me. This wasn't like a slap on the butt like they do in football. Dude stuck his hand up in there for a good 5 seconds and was wandering around like he was digging for gold or something. So I call them Dabo and the Duty Diggers because they like playing with each other's a sphincter hole. Brandon Wadley, I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, home of the University of Alabama, 18-time national champions. The Taj Mahal of college football. You know, the king of kings of college football, man. The Alabama Crimson Tide. I got you. OU would have blah, 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 blah. Kuz's Corner says, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Been going on here for a few minutes, doing my first StreamYard podcast. I stumbled a little bit at first, Kuz. I should have called you, man. I started to call you and get you to help take off the training wheels, but I just bust out them damn things like Forrest Gump busting out of his braces. And run, Forrest, run. That's what I did. But we got it going now, brother. And there are some things I need to work out, some kinks I need to get your advice on. It's a lot of stuff I don't really understand just quite yet. I had to click on the comments first. At first, I couldn't even see the comments. But, yeah, we got us a live stream going now. Got us a camera. Got us a real live stream now. So maybe I can interact a little more with the Common Joes and Common Sal's and maybe even have Kuz's Corner live on the Outlaw of College Football. Check Kuz's Corner out. He's a great podcast. He does a lot of great interviews. He also is very, very informative and knowledgeable about conference expansion, that kind of deal, as well as West Virginia sports in general. You know, Outlaw Oklahoma has 11 unclaimed national championships. If they would claim those, they would have 18 as well. Well, JD, you're one of my favorite listeners. But Alabama can actually claim 24, right? Just saying. If you go to the NCAA.org, I think they actually recognize Alabama with 23 or 24, and Alabama only claims 18. So we could say the same thing. Alabama's only national championship they claim that may not be valid would be 1941, where they lost 2 games and they were crowned by some offshot media outlet at the time. Other than that, I would say 17 are legit. 1966, we were robbed of a national championship. Notre Dame, Michigan State played at a tie. They were number 1, number 2. Alabama's number 3. They were undefeated. We would have three-peated that year. We would have been the first three-peat. So there's a couple of national championships that we probably got screwed out of as well. As well as Oklahoma. I'm sure y'all been screwed out of a few as well. Great analogy. Oh, yeah. Where's the analogy at? Florida doesn't deserve to be in the SEC. They lost to those Democrat left wings, Utah Utes. Well, is Utah? Is Utah? Is that a red or a blue state? I don't know, man. Them Mormons, they crazy as hell. But I will say this: you got the right idea about women, right? I'm just playing. They don't do it no more, do they? No. The woman's got them a harem. How much longer do you think Saban has left? Says Mike Hawk. I think Saban's got probably at least 2 or 3 seasons left in him. I know he has a contract that goes through 2028 or 2029, but I don't know if he's going to make it long. I think they just did that as window dressing for recruiting so that they don't use negative recruiting against Nick Saban. Now, because earlier I was talking about Deion Sanders. Con time Deion Sanders once again shows his ass on the press conference there, basically playing the HBCU card when she has no right to. He left the HBCUs high and dry, claimed he's going to push them up to Division I football, and then first job offer he gets is gone. HBCU level people don't really like Deion, so I don't know why he keeps playing that card. Con time people, I knew they were going to do that. I knew the con time Deion Sanders groupies were going to come in here and jizz their panties. I knew it. That's what they've been doing. TCU, we're going to find out TCU was rather bad team, in my opinion. No defense whatsoever. They've given up 45 plus 65. What is that? Y'all did the math there for me. Was it 110 points in the last 2 games that TCU's given up? Also, Kuz, I'd like to have your take on Lincoln Riley's little brother out there shitting the bed at Clemson. And as a poster earlier pointed out, he only scored 7 points against Georgia and then only scored 7 points against Duke. I don't know, man. I think Clemson might be in a little bit of trouble. We don't have to worry about those unclaimed championships anymore. We don't have to worry about AP and UPI polls anymore. I hated those polls deciding championships. Well, we all claim them, JD. Oklahoma 7 national championships or AP and UPI titles. The UPI poll, a lot of people don't realize this, but the UPI poll used to award their championship before the bowl game up until like 1974. And so there's a lot of teams that won national championships that probably weren't deserved, Alabama included, but everybody claims them. So I don't know why people continue to try to grill Alabama about it when there's other teams out there claiming those very same national championships. Kuz's Corner says, I thought the way you treated the media was ridiculous. That being said, if I was a player, I'd like it. Okay. I just have to disagree with you there, but if you was a player, you'd like what exactly? I mean, I don't know, man. It just comes across as Bush League to me. The way he talks, the way he speaks, and the way he wants someone to call him Coach Prime. That's a big hang-up for me. He begs and bitches about wanting some respect and people calling him coach, but then he wants to add some ridiculous attachment to it. Instead of calling him Coach Sanders or Coach Deion Sanders, he wants to be called Coach Prime. And that sounds like a damn cartoon character on the Transformers, you know? Optimus Primus Jackass. or something, you know? It's just, he comes across as, it's just too Bush League for me, man. He's almost like one of those characters on the WWE in a way, you know? Half of those Mormon women are pretty rough looking, though, says Brandon Wadley. Man, that's not nice, man. What you going to talk about them like that for, man? I seen some of them Mennonite women around here and those Amish women that, you know, they make them wear plain dresses and stuff and don't wear no makeup, but they have natural beauty. And I could tell. They would get dressed up. Them Amish and them Mennonite women's, boy, they probably put it on you, man. They probably all bent up and frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Garrett Riley can be Nick Saban's replacement. No. You're trying to be funny now, ain't you? That's not funny, man. Don't be saying shit like that. I don't want Garrett Riley. I don't want Lincoln Riley. And I don't want Coach Contime. I don't want Contime as my coach either. If they hire Contime to be the head coach at Alabama, you know, Oklahoma won't just be my second favorite team anymore. Let's just say that. I'll become a full-time Sooner at that point. And that's what I'm saying, man. He called this young lady out. She had said something about him having nepotism to his son. Well, look, he had 510 yards passing. I guess y'all ain't saying that now, are you? It was one game against a real crappy defense. Deion, you might want to temper your shit, man, because you're just going to put more pressure on your son by doing that. You think Nebraska ain't listening to that? And Matt Rule's already had some choice words about Deion. Nebraska's offense didn't look great, but their defense looked pretty damn good. I mean, they held Minnesota to 10 points, man. It's going to be really interesting. What if Nebraska comes out there and beats them? What's the Contime Deion groupies out there going to say then? What's your thoughts on that, Kuz? I think it's childish in my opinion, says Kuz. Look at all these badges up in here. We got a lot of Outlaw Posse members up in here for sure. Kuz's Corner also has his badge as well. He's a member of the Outlaw Posse. He's got his badge. He's been deputized long ago. I think he was the original, man. He was like my, what were you, man? It would be really good. Might be like Tombstone, Wyatt Earp, and Doc Holliday. He's my Doc Holliday. No, actually, I'm Doc Holliday because I'm more of an asshole. He's the Wyatt Earp. I'm Kuz's. So we got here. Dabo, all shucks, BS is finally wearing thin. Yeah, that Dabo stuff's about to play out, man. I mean, the whole hypocritical comments he made about NIL and stuff, I discussed that earlier. He really made himself look sort of stupid and hypocritical. That's why I said it, Kuz. I said it. I'm your Doc Holliday. You're my Wyatt Earp, man. We need to do a show together now. You know? Kuz is good cop, bad cop. He'll be my good cop, and I'll be the bad cop. If I was in wrestling, I'd have to be a heel, man. Or a gray hat like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know? Stone Cold's a gray hat, they call him, because he ain't like good guys or bad guys. Kuz says, well, they obviously weren't good enough to play there. I didn't like it at first, but once I heard more about it, I understood it. I don't know. I'm a little lost on that one. Y'all must be having a little conversation that I'm not privy to. Michael Jackson says the USC comedy show. It is pretty much a comedy show. If y'all want to hear some good musical vibes, I did dabble in trying to had a one-hit wonder myself. It was a rap song about Lincoln Riley. It was called Lincoln Riley Rap Song versus the Oklahoma Sooners. You can search that on YouTube if you want to. I thought it was pretty good. I thought I might be able to get a record deal out of that shit. Man, I'm not holding my breath. But I thought it was pretty good. Y'all go back and check it out. NIL says, ruined college football, says, how are you? See what we got going up here. Nope. All right. I guess I'm fixing to get up out of here. Y'all give me your predictions this week. Drop it in the comment section of this video when I get off of here. I'd like to see what y'all think is going to happen with Oklahoma and SMU, Alabama, and Texas. And you got any other good top 25 games that you want to give me some predictions to? Drop that in the comment section as well. I like to look back at those and see exactly and gauge where the common Joe is right and those talking heads are not. Maybe when Saban retires, they can get Mike Gundy. Yeah. Mr. Man. I'm a man. I'm 54. I'm 55. Whatever. But he's a man. Just so y'all know, Mike Gundy is a man. Because as Corner says, as long as Dabo refuses to embrace the NIL and the portal, he won't win as much as he did in the past. And maybe his coordinators were really wondering why he won those. Really, the reason why he won those. That is right, Kuz. I really think that some coaches can overcome losing coordinators more readily and better because they're better at adapting to new schemes and whatnot. And they might bitch about it. You know, Saban bitches about the new offenses and all the new rules and stuff like that, but then he adapts to them. Dabo doesn't seem right now like he has been able to do that. He's lost a few coordinators. They're starting to feel what Alabama's felt for the past 10 years. And now we're going to see if he's actually goes from being a good coach to a great coach. I think that's what makes the difference. Just like with Kirby Smart, you know, he lost a few coordinators this year. This will be a big test for Kirby. You may not be able to really gauge it this year, but 2 years down the road, we'll see how good Kirby Smart is without some of the coordinators he's been losing. Sometimes it's really hard for these coaches to adapt and to bring in coordinators to fit them or fit their coordinators. Saban would bring in coordinators like Lane Kiffin, who he had nothing in common with, and adapt to them. Some coaches just can't. They just can't do it. Some can. We'll find out. Then how do they lose over 50? What's up, Bruce Wayne? Bryce Wayne, my bad. I thought it was Batman up in here, man. Shit. Texas can't play with Alabama. When they played Rice, you could see they regressed some from last year, says Stason Stiegel. Stason, sort of agree with that, and I was wondering what's the deal. And I realized they don't have Bijan Robinson to take the heat off the passing game. Losing Bijan to the NFL might hurt Texas a little bit more than they anticipated, in my opinion. I hope it does, at least for this game. Steve Lees is up in the house. What was that? Steve Lees. You the one that came up with that little saying. Steve Lees come up with another thing for the Skittle shitters out there in USC. We can call them the Skittle marks. They have little rainbow Skittle marks in their damn panties. Steve Lees came up with that. I forgot all about that, Steve. See what we got here as far as no, better not do that. Eric Taco Marino says Kuz's Corn Venables gave them a chance and others just left on their own. That's true. You be jamming now, my brother, says Steve Lees. Yep. Got a little more technology on my side now. Now I just got to figure out how to use it without looking like a spastic monkey in a zoo playing in my poo. All right, brothers and sisters. Time could never be a defensive coordinator. He wouldn't. Coach talking. It's well known he didn't like contact. Yeah, that's what I heard about Deion. I heard he wasn't a very good tackler in the NFL. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't watch a lot of NFL, so I really can't really say that about Time. I just know what I've seen from his personality. He seems like a big old fake. To me, just like Brian Kelly's a big old fake. Well, I guess I'm going to get out of here, brothers and sisters. It's been fun hanging out with y'all tonight, helping me my first live stream on StreamYard, being able to interact with y'all more readily. And like I said, if you don't mind, you can also hit that like button before you get out of here, as well as join the Outlaw Posse if you want to. You see a lot of badges in here. It's not a $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week. You hit the join button, the subscribe button. You'll get your deputy badge. You'll be deputized. Get your random 4 horsemen shout out. And now we have a deputy input comment of the day as well for those with the badge. Peace out, OCF. See ya. Says Killback Freeze. Thanks for the clarification, Matt. Says Kuz. Later, partner, says Bryce Wayne. God bless you. God bless y'all, man. I'm out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.